So this is in response to my brother Andy Kinnison, who wants to make a video. I got no hate for my brother. He's my brother. You know what they say, brotherly love. And, we have our spats. We're brothers. We have our spats once in a while where we disagree with each other. That's what siblings do. Sometimes siblings fight. So, but I have his back until the day I die or the day he dies, whoever's first. But I have his back for all eternity. But anyway, this is a YouTube video he was making saying I was sputtering utterly nonsense about making this video about how the Democrats in the House were trying to pass this anti-religious bill purely against the Constitution. One of the, in the First Amendment, we have the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. Okay? Not the freedom of mental illness. The freedom of identify whatever gender I want to identify as. The homosexuality and gender confusion does not appear anywhere in the U.S. Constitution. But you know what does appear in the U.S. Constitution? Freedom of religion. Gender identity, gender this, gender fluid, gender this, gender nonsense, gender go fuck yourself, doesn't appear anywhere in the United States Constitution. Let's get that fucking straight. For all the Democrats in the fucking House. For your Equality Act. This is not a civil rights issue, okay? Women have the right to vote. Okay, I agree with that. Blacks have a right to vote. I agree with that. That's what civil rights was about. People of, color, ask me if they're people of shade. No disrespect. If you want color, go to, purple, yellow, blue, blue style pen, yellow style pen, let me see, I got black magic marker, big red, that's color in my eyes. Black, gray, white, even my skin is I wouldn't consider that color. Green maybe. But anyway, civil rights, they want the same, the blacks want the same rights as the whites, and there was the race riots in '69 and that shit like that, and and we got good icons back in the day like Rosa Parks, who protested the back of the bus, and we have Martin Luther King, who put his life on the line for civil rights. These are real heroes. Okay, Rosa Parks is a hero. Martin Luther King is a hero. These are heroes that put their life on the line so blacks can have the same rights as whites. They are heroes. They are icons that should always be remembered. Okay, Bruce Jenner, Jazz Jennings, the pedophile, and Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner, whatever the fuck, Jazz Jennings and James Charles are not American icons. Well, we fought for LGBTQ rights. No, it's a mental disorder. It doesn't say anywhere in the U.S. Constitution about gender fuck-up, okay? Nowhere does it appear anywhere in the Constitution about gender identity. It says freedom of religion. What part of that don't the fucking Democrats understand? Andy Kinnison, my brother, what part of that don't you understand? You're questioning me. Excuse me. I gotta question myself if you're a progressive. If you're a true conservative, you stick to the rights of the Constitution, freedom of religion, not freedom of gender identity. We got mental institutions for that. Okay? So you want to say that I'm spewing nonsense. No. I'm sorry. The Constitution came from God-given rights. That's where it came from. There's two laws that I follow. No other laws matter. Those two laws are the U.S. Constitution and the Holy Bible. Those are my two laws that I follow. None other. None other. I don't care what state law you make. I don't care what federal law you make. I follow the law of the land. That is the U.S. Constitution. I follow the laws of God. That is the Holy Bible. I don't give a damn what federal law you make, state law, local law, whatever the fuck. Okay? I follow the United States Constitution and the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible comes first because that's God. U.S. Constitution comes second. I categorize things in a certain order. God always comes number one. Always, always, always. Number one is God. He comes before any of my family members. Anybody! He's number one. He comes first. Number two comes family. Number three comes my country. Number four comes work. Then we get into entertainment and shit like that. That goes, number five, going to the movies or going to Planet Fitness to get my exercise. Well, that's kind of healthy, so that kind of goes in number 4 or 5 because I got to be healthy to work, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? My health is important, yeah, but I kind of categorize things from one down to, God comes first. Number 2 is my family. That's second important. Number 3 is my country, the freedom, the right to live in this country freely. Number 4, I got to make a living, so if I had to resort to, shooting and killing animals to eat and live, whatever, whatever I got to do. So got to have money, so that's number 4. And then, entertainment, going to the movies, going to the beach and, doing that's number 5. And a bunch of stuff comes in number 5, entertainment. So but anyway, you have to prioritize things. What's most important and what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the way you have to do it. Okay. So God is number 1. That comes before the LGBTQ terrorist organization. Okay. They are a terrorist organization, just like Planned Parenthood. So my brother wants to say I spew utterly nonsense, whatever. Okay, we have political disagreements. That's fine. But I stick to the truth, okay? Because the truth will set you free. Free your mind. Okay? Free your mind. That's all I'm telling you. Free your mind. It scares me a little bit the way this country's going. It makes me wonder what's going to happen in 5 years, Am I going to have, am I going to be able to spew my nonsense on YouTube freely in 5 years without being in handcuffs? But that's what the stupid Democrats are aiming for. They're aiming for throwing people like me in jail. We're going to end up like the UK. We're going to end up like Australia. We ain't going to have any guns. Our gun rights are going to be shit. The government's going to, they just celebrated a 30-year anniversary at Tiananmen Square in China. China's covering it up, the history of it. I just watched a good speech by some girl. It was an Asian girl in Taiwan. Taiwan freeing from China, Hong Kong's trying to get free from China. But the communist China, they're still communists. They're still killing people. That's what happens in a communist country. The citizens can't defend themselves, and you see what happens over there. They cannot fight their government. North Korea, they can't fight their government. Venezuela, they're fighting their government, and the world and the country in Venezuela is in the middle of a fucking turmoil right now. That's what happened with socialism. That's what happens with socialism. Democracy leads to socialism. Socialism leads to communism. Communism leads to all anarchy. We are a constitutional republic. Let's get that straight. We are a law of constitutional laws. We are a land of constitutional laws. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. I'm starting to sound like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I'm stupid. God, I'm starting to sound like her. I'm getting tired. I'm getting towards the end of my day here. We are a land of constitutional laws. That's what we are. I understand you got to alter a few things because of, technology and the way things change a little bit, but we have to stay to the basis of the constitutional law of the United States of America. Our founding fathers they were very smart. They say the average empire lasts about 300 years. Well, this empire's lasted 20, 30 years, something like that, 230 something years, whatever. So, is our empire coming to an end? As the second Civil War approaches, it's probably going to take its second Civil War to reclaim this empire from, the real Nazis, which is the Democratic Party. And if you don't believe that they're really real Nazis, I got proof that they're the real Nazis, okay? Hitler did not commit suicide. As a matter of fact, Adolf Hitler died in the 1980s. He was on a plane and he fled with his wife to Antarctica. In Antarctica, they had a secret base in Antarctica. It was a New World Order staging point, backed base, whatever the hell it was, in Antarctica. A lot of Nazis after World War II went there. Hitler went there. He lived there temporarily. And then he went up to, I think, Argentina or Brazil area to live the rest of his life. He's probably dead now. Well, of course he is. He died in the 1980s of old age. Adolf Hitler. Under a different identity. Not gender identity, but a different identity. Hitler did not commit suicide. A lot of the Nazis, they came to the United States to live out the rest of their lives. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the son of a Nazi. His dad was a Nazi, a real Austrian Nazi. Okay? And he won't even deny it. During the 80s and 90s, they were catching a lot of these Nazis and sending them back to Germany or whatever the hell they were doing. And some of them were put in prison. But I imagine there's a few still out there. Nazi war criminals that they're catching here in the United States. They caught, a lot of them during the 80s and 90s. So anyway, but some of them did not get caught and they end up taking political positions. And their sons and kids end up following in their father's footsteps and are taking political positions in offices today, right here in the United States of America. These are the real democratic Nazis. Okay? These are the democratic Nazis. They want a totalitarian system just like Hitler had, just like Germany. And they don't care about the U.S. Constitution. They are working for the New World Order to merge all the countries into one world government. That's why you cannot believe all the freaking mass shootings and and everything you hear in the liberal media. They control, the deep state controls. They're trying to control social media. They're having a hard time because you can't control the internet because the internet is so complex. But they're trying to control, the mainstream media. They're trying to control Hollywood. They're trying to control all these different areas of our lives. Well, we're a slave to their totalitarian system, and we don't even realize it. The best way to keep a slave is to make him a slave when he doesn't even realize he's a slave. You get what I'm saying? And that's what's happening in this totalitarian system. Our founding fathers are very smart. They didn't want that. So they tried the first time to overthrow us with the British. George Washington shot the motherfuckers, told them to fuck off, and he shot them himself when the British said, "Give me your guns." So, why do you think that Harry Truman, a U.S. president, he wanted in World War II? He knew what was going on. Harry Truman was a puppet for the New World Order. He knew what was going on. He wanted in World War II. He wanted in World War II. We could not find a conflict with any country at the time World War II was going on. There was that shit in Europe with Hitler taking over Europe, bombing France and bombing this country and that country and England and London and all. He was taking over all these countries. And he had other countries fighting. But Harry Truman, he wanted in World War II. You know why he wanted in World War II? To bring the New World Order Nazis at the end of the war over here, which would eventually be our totalitarian system. Why do you think JFK got assassinated? Those are the Nazis that did that. They brought the Rothschilds over here in 1912 with the Titanic, when the Titanic sunk. They put on a lifeboat. There were survivors of it and got over here in New York. That's how they reached New York. It's a lifeboat. There's Rothschilds on the Titanic. They want to take down the Titanic because there was people on the Titanic that were against that. So they had the captain of the Titanic. He was a Jesuit, and he was taking orders from the New World Order. As a Jesuit, he rammed the boat into the iceberg. It was no accident. But you know what happened? 3 weeks before the bombing of Pearl Harbor, you know what happened? 3 weeks before, Harry Truman and the dictator or ambassador of Japan, 3 weeks before Pearl Harbor happened, they were shaking hands. Ha ha ha. Hello, Japanese ambassador. Can you please bomb us with a fake bombing and draw us into World War II? Yes, Harry Truman, I'll do that for your country. I'll send some troops over and I will bomb your fucking country and draw you into the war. That way you can get drawn into the war and we can... I tell you what, after we draw you into the war, you can come and drop 2 bombs on our country and kill 100,000 of our citizens via Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Draw you into World War II, pay us off some money. That way you can bring the New World Order Nazis into your country after the war is over. A big, huge, fake conspiracy. They're not going to teach you that in liberal schools. Of the real meaning of what was behind World War II. But that was it. The Nazis, that was it. That's just one part of the whole New World Order agenda of Satan trying to take over the world. That's just one part of it. The false flag mass shootings and shit like that, that's another part of it. The Democrats taking over the House and trying to, piss away the U.S. Constitution, that's another part of it. It all adds up to one thing. One world government, one world religion, New World Order takeover, all humans microchipped into a totalitarian world system. One world currency, one world religion, one world government. So, this is a response to my brother saying I'm spewing nonsense. So there's a lot of nonsense for you. How about that? Anyway, I'm out. I gotta get to bed.